Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my favorite part of the day. This is You Must Learn. This is where we get our brains right. We learn new things. Today I have my brother Guz Khan, all the way from the UK, comedian, actor, and for today's episode, my favorite Muslim, Guz. You're gonna help us learn what it is to be Muslim, or how to be Muslim, or why to be Muslim.
I'm gonna help you learn all them shits.
Welcome to You Must Learn. Let's go. Yo, Guz Khan, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing very well. How are you, brother?
I'm great. I jumped on the scale today and I hit 229. That's the first time I've been in the 20s in like 3 years, son.
Okay, listen, can we just establish something here? You know where I'm from, bro, yeah? We don't do this 229 pounds. How many stones do you weigh, brother? How many physical stones do you weigh?
I don't speak English, bro. I don't know what a stone is.
Brother, until you tell me how many, all I know when it comes to pounds, that's how they used to weigh Big Show in WWE when I was a kid. So you weigh less than 480 pounds. So what do you want me to say? You weigh half a Big Show.
Just know that I accomplished something incredible.
Well done, mate. Well done. You've been running. You've been doing well. Proud of you, son.
Yeah. Yes. Well, hold on. I want to ask you some questions, but before I get to that, what is this sign you have in the background there? What is this?
Oh, sorry. You mean that sign there?
Yeah. What is this sign? I believe it says Cipha Sounds is racist.
Yes, written in the Queen's English. Cipha Sounds is racist. If it wasn't Ramadan, I might have been a bit more expressive with my terminology, brother.
Right.
But this is fact.
that I'm racist.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let's just set the scene. Yeah, let's just set the scene, okay? Right? You are in the hood, in England with me. And I don't know if maybe you'd never understood the reference point before, but when you met me, you were like, okay, this dude's a hood dude. And he hangs around with a load of goons. And it was me and the goons backstage at our gig, yes or no?
Very much so.
Very much so. So, Sife's learning. Sife's like, oh, I thought all these Pakistani dudes were like Apu from The Simpsons. Nah, brother, we on smoke. We on violence, okay? There's no Apus around here.
Yeah, that was
backstage.
Just to set the tone. I met my brother Guz Khan through my other brother Mo Am, a very funny comedian, special on Netflix called Vagabond. We did a tour throughout England where Guz is from. Guz is right next to Birmingham, right?
That's right.
Coventry.
Yes. Yeah, of course, sci-fi. Remember this facts. Good like.
And so we did a lot of shows in London, but we also went out of town to what I assume is like the Detroits and Alabamas of England. And we went to one city and some of his goons pulled up, but they're Pakistani, but they're goons. I'm like, just the way they talk, I was like, I know these guys, but they don't look like the guys I know from America.
Yeah, you were referencing us as the 7-Eleven brothers and the brothers that drive the Ubers. Yeah, that's what you said. So let me set the tone even further. We got real killers in the room, yeah? We got real lame men. And Cypher's like, man, y'all look different, man. Y'all ain't selling bread. Y'all ain't selling Mountain Dew. What's good? Bro, the man were like, yeah, you're a funny guy, yeah? You're a funny guy. Is that right? So yeah, Cypher's there in a room full of the mandem, and then Cipha decides to take our ethnic dish, our dish of choice, one of the most popular forms of cooking on the planet. It's called curry. Some of you with an experienced in cuisine mindset might have experienced it. And Cipha proceeds to say, nah, I don't eat curry, man, in front of a room full of goons. And one of the goons says, why don't you eat curry? And Cipha says, because that shit stinks, son. The goons were ready to let off shots, Cipha. You're not going to survive.
Let me tell you something. Just for argument's sake, so I'm gonna be able to live. I did not say those things exactly like that, but it was similar.
Very similar.
Guz, man, I love you to death, man. And you're a guy that as soon as you meet Guz Khan, you love this guy. And we were forced on tour together. We didn't know each other before we went on this tour. And that tour was monumental. You are the person who actually told me Nipsey Hussle was shot and then killed, because we were on the road together and we were just on our Instagrams, and you gave me the news first, which always stays in my mind of how sad. The tour was great, and then all of a sudden it got sad because we lost Nipsey. And right away, the couple hours I meet you, you start talking to me about my, I guess, religious beliefs, theology, and it was like you were like, it's like you were giving me like a CAT scan, but like a Muslim CAT scan, where it's like, and you were seeing where I was. So that's why I want to know, like, it's Ramadan right now. First of all, explain Ramadan to stupid people like me.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to start by saying Ramadan Mubarak, otherwise known as Ramadan Kareem. Kind of like a hey, happy Ramadan situation. Some people out there might be understanding, why would you say happy good times when you guys are abstaining from food and drink and water for so many hours? And the reason why Muslims, I believe, say Ramadan Mubarak is that it's a very auspicious occasion. So on a basic level, Ramadan is when nearly 1.8 billion people worldwide, are those people who are practicing, decide not to eat or drink any food whatsoever, nada, nothing, between the hours of sunrise and sunset. So at the point that
but it changes where it falls throughout the year all the time, right? Every year.
Yeah, absolutely. So every year it kind of cycles back a month, yeah.
So right now it's probably harder to do Ramadan than in the wintertime where the sun goes down earlier.
Absolutely. So we should establish it's based on the lunar calendar. Right. So at a point where the moon is sighted, that's the beginning of the month. So that's the first day, first evening of the fast. And then Eid culminates, which is a celebration, at the point where there is a full moon, so the end of the lunar calendar month. And there are theological reasons behind that, things that took place at the time. But it's still like a very old school spiritual method of identifying the start and end of the month.
And what is the point of not eating or drinking anything from sunup to sundown? Why are you doing this?
Okay, it's big. So like, there'll be a lot of Muslims stateside. There'll be a lot of Muslims in the UK who have a slightly different view of it. So if you grew up in a Muslim majority country, for example, it's just second nature. It's something that just happens. So in the UK, it's very much the same thing. It's part of the culture. It's part of the being. And especially if you're from, you guys might call it a blue collar, but a working class background in the UK, there's a lot of Muslim communities, African, Asian, Southeast Asian, a lot of people are together, and there's a lot of people who aren't Muslim who understand what the month is. But for those people who might not necessarily experience it, it's a month where you aren't eating or drinking, to abstain and understand the feeling of what it's like not to have access to food and water as we like. So as much as we grew up in rough times, we weren't the richest family, we had to see hard economic times, we still could always turn on the tap and get water, right? That's the fundamental. Yes. We were never in a position where you're not going to have a glass of water. But Ramadan is a definitive reminder that the people who came before us, the people who paved the way, especially for me and you, bro, being in the West, as first, second, third generation immigrants, we have to understand that people who came before us had a much rougher time. And Ramadan allows you to balance and check and understand what it's not like to have the basic amenities of food and water to sustain yourself. So it's a huge reset.
Oh, I see. So the reset is a good way to put it. See, there you go. We finding the terms. So you basically live this way to remind yourself that people in the past or even people today don't have certain things.
Absolutely. And also, Saif, I want to say, like, people get caught up on the food. And so I hear from a lot of my Christian brothers and sisters, I hear a lot like, we do Lent. Yeah, I've done Lent before. It's slightly different. Lent is like a slightly more budget version of it. You give it one thing and you see how it goes. Ramadan is full on. You have to abstain from the food and the drink from morning to night. But bro, let me apply some of the other rules during Ramadan. So the food and the drink is a huge thing, the month of fasting. Yeah. But you're also fasting fundamentally from your desires. So to eat and drink when you want is not just a need. Sometimes it's a desire, bro. We live in a fast society where me and you want to go hit up donuts at 3 a.m. like we did on tour.
Yeah.
We click our fingers, we go find donuts. So in Ramadan, it's not just about the food, it's about your mentality. So a huge thing for us growing up is, you know, in impoverished working class areas in the UK, is Ramadan is a time when fighting is prohibited. So if me and you have beef, me and you got problems in the streets, Ramadan is a month where Islamically you are prohibited from engaging in any physical, verbal fighting. It's a huge month, bro. So you find a lot of kids and a lot of thugs, if you want to put it, a lot of gangs where we're from during the month of Ramadan, especially when we were younger, they would drop their beef, and when you see each other in the street, it's yo salam, and you keep it moving. It's an amazing month.
And then does the beef restart after Ramadan?
As soon as Ramadan finishes, pow, pow, pow. That's Eid Day celebrations, baby. That's fireworks on Eid Day, bro.
That's crazy. And then what about like, okay, so do you watch TV and listen to music during Ramadan, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, now we're getting into the inner workings of each individual Muslim and how they take the month, right? So one thing that's difficult is like you can apply being a Muslim to like, hey, Cipha, tell me about what your entire community does and thinks. It's hard to do because every individual is on a different level, right?
Right.
So
and the world changes. Like there was no TV when Ramadan came about. So how do you say don't watch TV when there was no such thing?
Of course, if as soon as you break your fast, you're turning on TV and watching titties bouncing around, then clearly this is a little bit of an issue. Everybody loves to see the titties bouncing, but titties bouncing in Ramadan on television is a bad situation.
Okay, got
so
it.
maybe you refrain from that. But right now, for example, we got the coronavirus situation going on.
Yeah.
People need to be in the loop. You need to be aware of what key statements are coming out from the government, what you need to do. So I would say it's absolutely within somebody's right to sit down and catch up with what's going on in the world as a fundamental reason. And bro, everybody takes these things differently. So some people like, she puts a blanket over the TV. I'm not sure what kind of religious significance this has, but she puts a big ass blanket over the TV and says, nah.
But if TV is one of her biggest desires, then it, you know what I mean? Because that would be, for me, like a friend of mine, he goes by Calligraphist. He's a Muslim brother. He's amazing. Ismail. He always says he gives up like social media during Ramadan. That's his way of like, you know, being whatever focused. Interesting.
No, absolutely. And also, bro, before we move on from that, there's a fundamental thing, which you are told to abstain from purely between the hours of sunrise and sunset during Ramadan, and that is the good times. That is the sexual times, brother.
Oh no. Yeah, but that one's a little easier, I think, because everybody's not humping and bouncing during the daytime. Like, that's a nighttime thing.
I mean, listen, how old are you now, bro?
I'm old.
Yeah, exactly. You got some of these young thundercats. Go back to Cipha, circa 21 years old. Cipha, you are pumping your hips like we can't comprehend.
Yeah. And now it's like we working from home, so you home all day with your girl. She got her sweatpants on, her booty is sticking out.
And also, Cipha, here's another thing, right? So you're right. Okay, so even take someone who's around our age, right? Things have slowed down. The libido meter has shrunk, right? For men and women. However, after 15 days straight of knowing that you can't engage in the good times, Cipha, by day 15, that is very difficult, brother.
Right.
You walking around washing your dick in the sink in the middle of the day because the situation is getting very tense.
All right. All my Muslim friends say I seem like I'm Muslim. Dave Chappelle, Mo Amer, Mos Def, all these people say I have this vibe about me that is already Muslim, and you're always trying to make me take the Shahada, which is what? What's the Shahada?
Inshallah, tabarakallah. It is the declaration of faith, Cipha Sounds. It's essentially like you could do it privately, but it's a public declaration that you're now part of the gang. Gang for life. Yeah? The only gang that matters. Okay, so you asked a very important question, which is, why does Dave Chappelle, Mo Armour, Mos Def, all your Muslim friends say that you have a very Muslim demeanor? When I met you, bro, the first thing that struck me is your energy, your good vibes, and the Arabic term for this is your akhlaq. It's your demeanor. Your demeanor is good energies, bro. And that's how a good Muslim is supposed to come to you. A good Muslim is not supposed to come to you on a screw face thing. Yeah. So like, if we talk about hip hop, if you're talking about late 80s, early 90s hip hop, there was a different view. If you look at of Muslims in the arts bit, if you look at grime now in the UK, the big accusation is that, yo, 1 minute you guys are talking about shanking each other, and then the next minute it's inshallah, yo, inshallah, my brother, Aki. So it's a really important thing to say. Your personality is very approachable, caring, you're outgoing, you're funny. So you've got a very Islamic demeanor in that sense. And then beyond that, you're really boring. So
these are facts. These are facts.
These are facts, bro. You are ready for that good Muslim life. What do I say when I mean boring? I don't mean that because I mean that. I mean that because to the outside world, you're Saif, we're hitting the club. Nah, I'm good, son. Saif, you want to hit this weed? Nah, I'm good, son. Saif, you want to go lick a stranger's pum-pum? Nah, I'm good, son. You draw an X on most of the things that people are drawn into. And that's also very Islamic in terms of you're controlling your desires. I would say...
I don't drink. I don't smoke. I used to lick an occasional stranger's pum pum back in the day, but can't do it anymore. But yeah, I don't know. My life changed when I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. That is where I feel I became when I turned from a boy to a man. I read it when I was 15, 16 years old. And I also found the 5% Nation, which is where the name Cipha comes from, which in the 90s, a lot of hip hop artists were 5%ers, and 5%ers comes from the teachings of the Nation of Islam in a way. So a lot of Muslim words are used in the 5% Nation, but that gets into a whole nother.
But just so you know, bro, because listen, this is a really interesting thing. It's something that we didn't really get that form of Islam in the UK. So it's a very, for us, it's a very, when we look at it, a very American phenomenon. So just to
Nation of Islam.
To delve into for a second, like we were very surprised in the UK in like YouTube videos over a decade ago that Busta Rhymes, I believe, it's 5%, right?
5%.
Or was? Yeah. So there was a lot of MCs who were like, oh, what is this? And when we started, like you said, researching and looking at probably, I would say, the most important Muslim figure of the modern era, Malcolm, Malik al-Shabazz. Bro, he was a man, an individual, a powerhouse who I think changed the game for a lot of people, Muslim and people who weren't Muslim. So tell me a bit more about that, but what resonated with you about him?
I'm a huge Malcolm fan. Of the fact that he basically totally 180'd his life 2 or 3 times, where it completely changed his life and his view and his understanding. And, you know, first being a criminal, then going to jail and becoming a Muslim from the Nation of Islam point of view. And then later on, again, admitting he might have been wrong about some things and became a more traditional Muslim. And most people can't admit when they're wrong. And I love the fact that he admitted it openly numerous times and changed his life. And, you know, he had 3 rules. Always have a watch, basically to make sure you're always on time. And I believe the other one was like wearing a tie, whatever it was at that time. But like just little things he would say. And just looking out at how like thoughts that I had, like, why isn't the world more together? Why are we always at odds with each other because of a religion or culture or whatever? And that kind of stuff made me really look into it. Now, I got into being a 5%er because I'm listening to hip hop. I'm listening to Brand Nubian and Rakim while reading Malcolm X. And it was a lot of the same words. I didn't realize it was 2 different things. But in there, and then also my best friend, my brother Jamal, is he's been Muslim his whole life, and he always like just feeds me all this information, So what is it to be a Muslim? Like in layman's terms.
Jeez.
I know.
Jeez.
Let's say I wanted to become a Muslim tomorrow. Like what are the things I would have to check off on a checklist? Or as you would say, on a tick box.
On the little tick box thing, yeah? Okay, so the little tick box thing is fundamentally, bro, it is the belief in the oneness of God. So Islam is a monotheistic theology.
Okay.
So one God, one creator, one central point of giving life, creating definitive decisions, one God, okay? Which is a common theme amongst all Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Judaism, going way back to faiths that even predate. And the second thing is believing that the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, is the final messenger and prophet of God. Also, some really important side, you can't take that decision right there and be like, okay, I believe in God, and I believe that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was his last and final messenger, but I'm not too sure about this Jesus dude. If you don't believe in Jesus, peace be upon him, if you don't believe in Moses, peace be upon him, you can't be Muslim. You have to believe that these individuals were sent by God with divine decree. So there's a lot to it, side. It's not just like, oh yeah, man, I'm a Muslim now, man. I believe in God. I believe in Allah, bro. I believe in the Prophet Muhammad. You have to understand there's a lot that goes with it. It's a lineage of history. So that's the basic fundamental belief, that someone believes in the oneness of God and that the messengers were sent in order to revitalize mankind. And when on that note, bro, in terms of messengers being sent to revitalize mankind, a lot of people of knowledge, and I'm not a person of knowledge, by the way, I'm just a layman, bro. I'm just trying to be me, you know me. But a lot of people of knowledge have said that God sends people to revive the faith, revive the knowledge. And I believe Malcolm is somebody that God sent to revive the religion, to revive the people. If you think about the impact that Malcolm had, bro, whether he, in the time he called himself Malcolm or Malik al-Shabazz, the impact he had, Saif, will resonate probably until the end of our lifetimes and beyond. So I know you probably teach your two about it. I teach my 3 kids who are old enough to know about who Malcolm is and why he was so important. Do you know what I mean? So as a reviver of the faith and someone who talked to you about human rights and understanding that your power is in here and here, to not let someone define you by the color of your skin if you're living in a system where they degrade you and demean you, is really important.
Okay.
For you, bro. Listen. So here's the sticky rules now, yeah? Listen, first of all, are you a big pork eater anyway?
Never. I don't eat pork ever. I haven't eaten pork since I was 16 years old.
So really interesting. In the UK, there's a lot of Caribbean reverts, so people who've come to Islam. And honestly, one of those fundamental things was when I talked to my friends' dads who reverted to Islam, they're like, I mean, I eat no pork from day one. It was easy. It was an easy thing for me. So, bro, for us, like, there's a lot of commonality that people find. So, not eating pork. What other fundamentals can I tell you? All of the good stuff, which is in basic, the basics of being a good person. So, treat your people good. Yeah. A really nice one Islamically, which is a lot of reward for, is smiling. So where we're from, bro, smiling.
Really?
Smiling, there is a huge Islamic reward in smiling at a stranger, at someone you don't know. And that's something that really hit me, bro. When I was coming out of a bit of a madness of being a thug and aggression and hardline, I was like, yo, Don, that is just nice, isn't it? That's just nice. Like, I'm really like, yo, brother, you need to come on the deen, brother. You need to pay attention to Islam. I'm like, I get rewarded from God for smiling. They're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So
I smile all the time. That's great.
This is what I'm telling you. You're Muslim, bro. Like, smiling, there is reward for. Other things that you can't do, obviously, basic things like sex outside of marriage, which, let's be honest with you, I greatly struggled with growing up. It's something I love, like we mentioned before. Like, it's commonplace in Western society to engage in frivolous
Oh,
sex. And
you mean you're not supposed to have sex until you're married?
yeah.
Oh, no, that's already gone.
If you have engaged in that, that's no reason not to become a Muslim. We all been there. We all done that. That's for men and women. I think we've got a deep history of like shaming, especially for us, bro. I think it's fair enough to say, growing up in the era that we did, if a girl was running around having sex, dudes would be like, nah, man, that's loose. But the beautiful thing I like about Islam is that the rules are the same for men and women. You can't be a dude running around slanging your dick. You can't be a girl running around slanging your pum-pum. It's the same rule for both. You have to preserve your chastity, preserve your modesty. And yet there's lots of other rules, bro. But the biggest thing for me is knowing that when you become a Muslim, you're engaging in a brotherhood and a sisterhood. That wherever you go, like when you walked in a room when we were on tour, bro, when you went out on stage, you could say salam to an audience. What would you get back?
The same thing.
Exactly. It's a profound connection, bro.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of other faiths may have had previously, but for some reason it's gone. With being a Muslim, bro, man or woman, you can say salam and you 9 times out of 10 get a smile back and a wa alaikum salam. So it's a powerful connection that you have.
Yeah, I see that. If I was to become Muslim tomorrow, what would I have to do?
So you'd have to genuinely believe in that declaration of faith, monotheism, and the belief in the prophet and the prophets, and as long providing you believe in that, that's all you would have to do. Now, there's a lot of people who will say, "Nah, brother, you gotta give up this. Man, everything is a learning process, right? Yeah. Everything is a step by step. I know a lot of brothers and sisters who have kind of like, yeah, man, I'm ready to be Muslim after leaving a crazy lifestyle. Yeah. They tried it all too quick, then you fall flat. Right. It's better to take things, in my personal opinion, again, I'm no scholar, but I'm saying it's better to take it step by step and implement things in your life that make you a better person off the cuff. So, for example, if you decide to become Muslim right now, on this podcast, on this Zoom stream right now, and you're like, nah,
I couldn't, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, I'm like, yo, those donuts I really like still have gelatin in them. That shouldn't make you not want to be a Muslim, bro. Like, give them up in time. But you be speaking to some people, you're like, nah, man, he was eating Starburst and Opal fruits, and them shits is haram, son. Like, yo, relax, brother. Just relax yourself. Everything in time, man. So yeah, there's nothing that really prohibits you. And I think that's a beautiful thing about Islam, bro. Like, if you do it and you're doing it properly, it's literally a statement of faith that you believe, and that's you're set.
Yeah, see, the thing about me is like, studying, I study a lot. Obviously I'm doing a show called You Must Learn because I want to get back to my gaining of knowledge. And everything I read, everything I see, I fall into the line of that, but then I don't know. I get nervous about dedicating myself to one thing because I like embracing all different ideas and cultures and pieces of information from all different sources. So I get nervous about being one thing where I won't be able to do that, but that doesn't make sense. You could still get knowledge from other people in other places.
Bro, here's something so important. It will be like me saying, oh, I'm Muslim. Cipha's got some information that I could greatly benefit from as a human being. No, I'm not going to take it because that's not how religion works, bro. That's not how true belief works. If you look back over the concourse, the history of time, the people who really heighten themselves and believe more so are the people who have a broad range of knowledge. So before you become Muslim, you should totally spend time with a Zoroastrian if you can find one in New York City.
I don't even know where Zoroastria is.
So like, bro, at the end of the day, Google that shit. At the end of the day, bro, you should spend time with everybody. But what I would say is, bro, that can never deplete from your strength as a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew to know something about somebody else's theology. Yeah. It should only make you more concrete. And I think, bro, like you've said already, you relate so much to key terms that were said within hip hop and key ideas that, bro, for me, you're kind of on cusp anyway. The reason why you talk about it, and what I think is really important here, you know, Dave's your brother, Chappelle is your brother. To me, he's a comedic hero, and I've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times. Humble dude, down to earth.
Yeah.
But bro, for someone with his level of comedic genius, I believe the last time we were all together, bro, for him to come out with a statement like, yo, Cipha, the only thing you should fear in this world is Allah, shows you that the belief
How
should
do you
be
know he
coupled.
told me that?
Yeah, Mo told me. The only thing, the
Wow.
only thing that should, yeah, it's deep. The only thing that really couples with, I suppose, the beauty of a skill. You're a very talented entertainer. You're a brilliant stand-up comedian. You shake a room. You get a room going like I've never ever opened or done comedy with like anything. But
thank you.
To counter check and balance your ego, man, the beauty of faith and religion is huge. So Islam, a big thing in Islam is that you're going to be given these skills and this beauty, whether it's physical, whether it's in your mind, whether it's a gift on your tongue. Man, there has to be a counterbalance to that. You have to give thanks and praise for that. Islam is big with that.
And okay, so let's say I want to go on this journey. How would I even start? Like, can I go in? Am I allowed to go to a mosque, or do you have to be Muslim to go to a mosque?
Bro, listen. So you see my show, My Like Mobian, right?
Of course.
Okay, so my best friend in the show and one of my brothers in real life is a Nigerian Christian guy called Tolulope Ogumefun. In the show, he goes by the name of Nate. Nate and Tolu, he grew up in the hood in London, the raw South London, gritty madness. We were filming the 3rd series, and it came to Friday prayer. Juma is what it's called. And Tolu was like, I'm bare hungry. I can't be eating this white people's dinner anymore. Can I come with you, man, and get something spicy? We were like, get in the car. We get in the car, and we say to Tolu, I said to Tolu, bro, like, we're one and the same. Why don't you jump in the mosque and see what going on? He's like, okay, cool. And Tolu sticks out bare. He's like 6'6". He's massive. He's a H Nigerian brother. And we walk into the mosque, and
during Friday Juma?
Friday prayer. Yeah,
Okay.
Juma, Friday prayer. Juma, Friday prayer. He's sat at the back. He's taking it all in. The prayer begins, the prayer finishes. And on the way out, like, he was greeted with so many mad levels of love that by the time we left, he stood outside. He's like, that was sick. Like, that was sick. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's such a good dude anyway, but it's so important to go and experience, because he was like, man, there's so much of that reminds me of church on Sunday, with the unity and the communion and the beauty of it. So anybody can turn up at a mosque.
Did he pray?
Yeah, I was praying myself, so I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he did.
Can I walk into a mosque on a Friday and pray even though I don't know how? Will people look at me like I'm crazy?
Never, bro. Like, I don't know how it is in the States, and I'm assuming it's kind of like the UK, but post 9/11, so much of media reportage makes you think that mosques and places of knowledge are like your terrorist hubs, homes for craziness. If you go in a mosque, you're gonna be in ISIS tomorrow. Like, it's mad, bro. If you walk into a mosque, bro, more time, the only thing people are gonna say is like, yo, can you just turn the tap off after you use it? That's like the biggest crime in a mosque, because you have to make ablution. You have to wash your hands, your face, your feet, be pure in front of God. That's the maximum you'll be told off about. Like, make sure you turn the tap off, brother. Stop wasting the water. Apart from that, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, bro, so many people I see throughout the year come into a mosque, stand at the back like cross-armed. Some people are angry, like, oh my God, these fucking Muslims, fucking reading their God prayers, their Allah prayers in my country. And bro, that same guy, within a month, you'll see him on a front row with a kufi on, and you're like, yo, Craig, you really changed. He's like, oh yeah, your food's really nice. I really fucking like it here. It's a beauty, bro. I think an important thing, bro, Islam aside, experience is something we don't do enough anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Well, man, thank you so much. I'm thinking about it, and here's the only way that could happen. Here's the only way it could happen. It would have to be on stage, and I would have to be with you, Mo Amer, Dave Chappelle, Mos Def, and my brother Jamal would all have to be there, because if I took the Shahada without any of them there, somebody would be highly offended. So I have to wait for a mega show where we're all together.
All I'm going to say is, I don't want you to prohibit you, that being the only reason that prohibits you from being a Muslim. But if you take your shahada without me, I'm going to kill you, brother. I'm going to send the goons to finish the job that you started. Remember, bro, it's still a fact. Cipha Sounds is racist. Just remember that, brother.
Yo, Guz Khan, thank you so much for being here. Man Like Mobeen, it's on Netflix in the United States, so make sure you check it out. Man Like Mobeen is so funny. You're in also, what's the other show you're in with Mindy Kaling?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of shows out there, man, like Hulu and Netflix. But bro, one thing I'll say is, for your audience, for the people who watch this, man, watch this space. Because Cipha, me and you are going to do this stand-up comedy again, bro. It was a vibe. It was an energy.
Yeah.
We have to bring this fun to the people.
Please, man. Please. That was the most fun I ever had, touring all around England with you guys, man.
Wow, listen, bro, inshallah, I'm going to say this. Inshallah, that happens again. And as soon as this Corona madness is out of the way, we work again. And inshallah, you're on the Deen of Al-Islam. The next time we touch a stage, you got 4 wives. You're killing it. You're rocking out. Sheikh Cipha Al-Maharim Al-Tipsi Wal-Qaba'id, the Puerto Rican shagger from New York, man. That's you.
Yo, Guz, thank you so much, man.
Okay, salam. Peace, Cipha.
Thank you so much, Guz.